Good day all. I warmly welcome you to Wanies Academy. So in our chemistry class today, we have a topic to consider, and that topic is tagged cells and batteries. Cells and batteries. So the aim for this class is outlined as follows: to clearly explain the relationship between cells and batteries. Then the objectives are also present for this class. So that at the end of this class, the student should be able to 1. Define cells, then 2. Define battery, then 3. State the relationship between a cell and a battery. So these are the objectives for this class, and I've also stated the aim earlier. All right, so now let's start the class proper. So now when we say electrochemical cell, now what do we actually mean? Now, an electrochemical cell can be defined as a single device, emphasis on single, as a single device that converts a stored chemical energy to electrical energy through redox reaction. So again, an electrochemical cell can be defined as a single device that converts stored chemical energy into electrical energy through redox reaction. Redox reaction meaning reduction, oxidation reaction. So that's what we call an electrochemical cell or a cell. But on the other hand, a battery can be defined as a collection of 2 or more cells connected together to give a greater voltage or electrical capacity or a higher electrical capacity. So we define a battery as a collection of 2 or more cells connected together to give a greater electrical capacity or a higher voltage. So that's what we call a battery. All right, now having defined what a cell is and a battery is, now let's look at what we call the basic components of a cell. So we want to look at what we call the basic components of a cell. That means the constituents of a typical electrochemical cell. So basic components of a cell. So basic components of a cell. So basic components of an electrochemical cell. So typically, now every given electrochemical cell has 3 basic or fundamental components. Now these are 1. Now we have what we call the electrodes. So we have the electrodes. Then 2, we have what we call the electrolytes. Now this is another component of an electrochemical cell. So we have what we call the electrolyte. Then thirdly, number 3, we have what we call the separator. So the separator. So now these are the 3 basic components of a given electrochemical cell. So now let's explain these basic components found in the electrochemical cell. So I'll be starting with what we call an electrode. So now let's look at the electrodes. Now electrodes are basically conductors through which electricity or electric current enters or leaves the cells. So the electrodes are defined as conductors through which electricity or electric current enters or leaves the electrochemical cells. And there are 2 major types of electrodes. Now these are, 1, we have what we call the anode. So we have the anode. Then 2, we have what we call the cathode. So these are the 2 types of electrodes. Now let's look at what the anode is. Now the anode can function either as a positive electrode or as a negative electrode, depending on how the cell is used or how the electrochemical cell is set up. So basically, an anode can be made to function as a positive electrode or a negative electrode, depending on how the cell is set up. Now, basically, if the anode, the cell is used to power a device, or that means it's discharging, the anode functions as a negative electrode. An oxidation, of course, occurs, and electrons are therefore released, making the anode to be negatively charged. So once again, the anode functions as a negative electrode when a cell is used to power a device. That means it's discharging. And by virtue of the fact that oxidation occurs at the anode, electrons are therefore released, and that makes the anode to be negatively charged when the anode or the cell is used to power a device. Then on the other hand, we have the cathode. Now, the cathode similarly can also function as a positive electrode or a negative electrode. Now, if the cell or the electrochemical cell is used to power a device, that means it's discharging. Now, the cathode, firstly, in that instance, will function as a positive electrode because reduction occurs at the cathode. That means electrons are pulled right inwards. That means electrons are gained or pulled inwards, and by virtue of that, the cathode becomes positively charged. So the cathode can function either as a positive electrode or a negative electrode. So when the device, the cell, is used to power appliances, the cathode will function as a positive electrode, and that is because reduction will occur at the cathode, and therefore electrons are usually withdrawn or pulled, thereby making the cathode to be positively charged in that instance. All right, now let's go to the second component of an electrochemical cell. So the second component we want to look at is called the electrolyte. So that is the next component we want to quickly look at, electrolyte. Now the electrolyte. Now, electrolytes are substances which conduct electricity and are decomposed in the process. So we define electrolytes as substances that have the ability to conduct electricity and are decomposed in the process of conducting electricity. So, and these are mostly salt solutions, acid solutions, and basic solutions. Now, for example, for a substance to function as an electrolyte, it must be either in the molten form, that means it's melted to be in the liquid form, or is dissolved in water as an aqueous solution. That is the only method or form in which a substance can act as an electrolyte to conduct electricity and is decomposed in the process. And that is because when a substance is in the molten form or is in the aqueous form, it means that the ions in it will be broken down, they'll be decomposed, and therefore are able to move about to conduct electricity. So now look at typical examples of electrolytes. Now this is salt solution, sodium chloride solution. So this in aqueous solution, it will dissolve in water, right? Dissolve in water and thereby undergo ionization in that process of dissolving in water to give us positively charged ions that we call cations and negatively charged ions that we call the anions. So that is Na plus is produced. Then of course Cl minus is also produced. Now, so that means for a substance to act as an electrolyte, it must be either dissolved in water as an aqueous solution or is melted to give us the molten form, because that is the form in which the ions are able to move about freely and therefore conduct electricity and behave as an electrolyte. So salt solutions are examples of electrolytes. Acid solutions like sulfuric acid solution, basic acid solution, alkaline solution like sodium hydroxide solution can also function as electrolytes. Now let's go on to the third component of a cell, and that is talking about the separators. So the separator. So separators, substance we call a separator. Now, a separator is a permeable barrier between the cathode and the anode that prevents physical contact while allowing ion transport or movement. So a separator refers to a permeable barrier between the anode and the cathode that prevents physical contact while allowing ion movement. And that is what we define as a separator. So in cells, we usually have what we call separators. So now this is a model of an electrochemical cell that is displayed in this diagram. So you can see we have the anode, right, and we have the cathode. As I stated earlier, the anode can function either as a positive electrode or a negative electrode, depending on how the cell is set up. Now, when the cell is set up to power a device, the anode will function as a negative electrode. Then when the cell is being recharged, if it's a rechargeable cell, the anode will function as a positive electrode. Then similarly, the cathode can also function either as a positive electrode or a negative electrode, depending on how the cell is set up. So when the cell is powering a device, the cathode will function as a positive electrode, where reduction takes place. Then when the cell is being recharged, the cathode will function as a negative electrode. And this is the separator here. This is what we call the salt bridge. So this is the separator in this cell. So these are the three components of a cell: the anode, the cathode, and what we call the salt bridge. So with that, we have come to the end of today's class. Remember to share this with family and friends, and also click the subscribe button. See you in the next class. Bye for now.